Bonjour, buenos dias. It's Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and the Insegna Booksellers. And today is the 4th of November 2022, and I'm going to delve into French, Spanish, and a little Portuguese at the end. This is lesson number 33. In this introduction, I always give myself 5 minutes introduction before the lesson starts because I reflect on what goes on during the week and how things are progressing with me linguistically. Well, I'm very happy that I've undertaken the journey of the languages, and I just went downstairs and checked up the German grammar book, whether there was a particular grammar book there, and I came up and I thought, just before that, I was thinking, during the week I've looked at some conversations in Spanish online, with the subtitles in Spanish, and I thought, I understand quite a lot of it. And then I read I read a few things in Spanish, and I understand quite a lot. And the same with Portuguese, even though I haven't even touched it, because these languages come back to Latin, and therefore, the more you tend to read in those languages, the easier it actually becomes. And today, I thought, we did 2 short stories, L'Ennemi de l'État, 1 and 2 from, my Conte Sympathique book here. It's, I've got quite a lot of copies of these. And, of course, they are important tools for teaching and learning. So if you want to learn a language, you really have to invest into some sort of in the textbooks, workbooks, but apart from that, in generic books about the culture of the country and, the way things are explained in all sorts of directions, different themes. You can talk about animals and nature, you can talk about the house, personal looks. And the key also is to actually have an exercise book and occasionally start writing those short sentences using the verbs to be and to have, the auxiliaries. Become familiar with those. And the other verbs, of course, are conjugations. So, one can't help oneself when learning a language to have to tackle the technical part of how the language came about and how it is actually expressed in today. So, the practice, yes, always, more and more practice all the time. You never go wrong with practice. But then the grammar really helps out a lot, because as an adult, you learn languages a lot faster if you are committed to them, to a language, or even two, because all you have to do is transfer the words and the adjectives of the language that you speak into the other language. And the verbs, once you get used to the conjugations and how to conjugate a particular tense, you can use that to make up sentences. Nobody's going to stop you from doing that. And I'm going to extract today, as a little exercise, the words from L'Ennemi de l'État 1 and 2. I'm going to go through them and look at the words. We do it pretty fast. So if you want to learn French and Spanish and Italian and other languages, come to see me, and I'll be able to direct you as you are learning. Occasionally you have, someone you can go to. Teaching is is sort of in the classroom, but really the real learning is outside of the classroom. That's that. And then, with Spanish, I'm going to introduce another song. I was hoping to have the lyrics with me on paper, but I'm going to use my other phone to introduce a song in Spanish by an Italian singer called Nicola Di Bari. So I promised to do that last week, and of course time runs out. But whenever I say something, and if I don't do it in a particular lesson, I do revise my lessons after I finish and check out, for mistakes, for the way, something should be explained, and, to keep going in the journey of learning a language. So basically that's it for today. It's going to be great. We're going to start now with, continue with the adjectives that we did last time. Okay, so the adjectives, the words in the adjectives beau, nouveau, and vieux. Beau, B-E-A-U, nouveau, and vieux. The adjectives beau, nouveau, and vieux have three forms. They have a special masculine singular form before words beginning with a vowel or silent H. So let's have a look. Beau, belle, and belle, feminine. Nouveau, nouvelle, nouvelle. Vieux, vieille, vieille. Beautiful, handsome, new, and old. Let's have a look. Why not? Let's start straight away. Here we go. These are the words. Beau, nouveau, vieux. Belle, nouvelle, vieille. Belle, nouvelle, vieille. So these are beautiful, handsome, new, and old. Okay? Now, it would be much easier, of course. It would be much easier, of course, if you had the book. Again, learning a language initially, it may seem confusing, but as you move on, you actually pick up a lot. And it's an excellent mental health activity. Because as we grow older, we actually have a lot of knowledge, but you need to, and we tend to concentrate a lot more on the day-to-day. I know a few people that, they clean the house, cook, do the garden, go out with friends, etc., and, other social activities. But learning a language is, we have the physical part, we have the physical, the spiritual, the social, the cultural. Maria Licatesi Corallo, watching all the way from Syracuse. Ciao. So this is the adjectives and adverbs. Two other adjectives that have special masculine singular forms are fou, mou, fol, mol. So these are other two ones that behave like the ones that we've just done. And I'll show you these ones as well. Here they are. Oopla. I can't rotate it. Okay. That's all right. Here. Fou, fol. Use fol in front of French words that begin with a vowel. Fol, this one is for French words that are feminine. So there are three types. Okay, the same as beau, nouveau, and vieux. Okay, now we're going to do the exercises, or I'm going to read them, and we'll check it from there. Okay, here we go. Note that the masculine form before a vowel and the feminine form sound alike. When the masculine adjective follows a word beginning with a vowel, the regular masculine form is used. C'est un beau garçon. C'est un bel homme. Cet homme est beau. C'est une belle femme. C'est un nouveau livre. C'est un nouvel appartement. But cet appartement est nouveau. Notice, depending on where you put your adjectives there, if you put it before the apartment, then appartement begins with a vowel. So he said, c'est un nouvel appartement. Nouvel appartement. They tend to to liaise the two together. C'est une nouvelle maison. C'est un vieux livre. C'est un vieil écrivain. Cet écrivain est vieux. C'est une vieille statue. Complete the following with the correct form of the indicative adjective. C'est un livre, un beau livre. C'est une belle histoire. C'est un beau homme. The H is, if it's not pronounced, so c'est un bel homme. But if the H is aspirate, in other words, if it's sounded, c'est un, well, no, they want to put it beforehand. So c'est un bel homme. C'est un beau homme. No, bel homme, it sounds better. The H is not pronounced. C'est une belle peinture. C'est un bon ami. C'est un bel ami. C'est un nouveau ami. C'est un nouvel ami. Nouvel ami is probably the way to go, because the ami, it begins with a vowel. C'est un beau tableau. C'est une belle robe, because it's feminine. C'est une belle dame. C'est un bel artiste, B-I-L. C'est un beau garçon. Cet artiste est beau. Cet arbre est vieux. Cet ami est nouveau. Okay, so that's, that's a little bit of, taking care of 5 adjectives, which are beau, nouveau, vieux, fou, and mou. Now, plural of adjectives, regular forms. Most adjectives form the plural by adding S to the singular form. For example, singular is petit, grand, but plural is petit with an S, grand with an S. But in the feminine is petite with an E at the end, grande, and petite, grande, ES at the end. Les garçons est grande, le boy is tall, les garçons sont grands. La fille est petite, the girl is small, les filles sont petites. Let me show you. There you are. As I said, you need the books in order to learn, a language. But it's not enough, really. And don't forget, what I'm doing now is not French. It's about French. It's not the language. The language is le garçon est grand, les garçons sont grands, la fille est petite, les filles sont petites. That's when you speak to a child, that's what they pick up. They don't really understand the concept of grammar as yet. So, but an adult, once you learn it, then you can apply it to everything else. All right? So that's that. Now the next one, adjectives ending in S or X. Adjectives ending in S or X are the same in the masculine singular and plural forms. Frais, frais. Gros, gros. Heureux, heureux. Anything else? No. And the feminine plural is regular. Okay. Yes, I'm only going to do this one here because grammar is heavy, too much. So frais, here we go. Let's see that. Frais, gros, heureux, frais, gros, heureux. It's the same. So adjectives ending in S or X are the same in the masculine singular and plural forms. Okay, so that it now brings us to the next one, to the exercises. Have a look. Un garçon heureux, un fruit frais, des garçons heureux, des fruits frais in the plural. And then the feminine plural is regular. Fraîche, grosse, heureuse. Fraîche, grosse, heureuse. And you have to make them in the plural as usual. Une pièce merveilleuse, a marvelous play. Des pièces merveilleuses, a marvelous place. And then the next lot is adjectives ending in E, O, E, I-U. Hébreu, beau, nouveau. Hébreu, beau, nouveau. Le livre est beau. Les livres sont beaux. The feminine plural is regular. Belle nouvelle, bleu. Belle nouvelle, bleu. La peinture est belle. Les peintures sont belles. Well, that's it for today. because it's too much. You know, the adjectives keeps going and on and on. But I'm going to cover them because I think that a bit of grammar each time. And let's not forget, you can't remember all these rules straight away. You notice them when you are actually reading or speaking to people or listening to people. And in writing, you need to get them correct. Otherwise, you get a big Regs mark. It's a bit of a problem. Okay, so that's that for the grammar. Now we go to les femmes parlent trop. Don't forget these two plays. I've got two plays here. Les femmes parlent trop. Et Simon fait bonne impression. I've read both of these, and you can go to these in my previous lessons. Don't forget, this is lesson 33. So if you go to insegna.com and you go to the blog section at the bottom of the languages, you'll find there are 4 sections there. The French one comes under languages and cultures. Okay, and the others are the Dante one, the Italian lessons, and the world history. All right, so after that, parlons français. Les femmes parlent trop, we've done that. Conte sympathique. This is the one that I was talking about with the words. Okay, let's go. Now, I'm going to go through it with you quickly as we move along. Here. L'ennemi de le temps. Alors, monsieur, that's one word. Monsieur is a word. Le consul is one. Je ne sais pas pourquoi on m'a amené devant le tribunal de Bordeaux. Le tribunal. That's another word you can write out. Vous me voyez le visage couvert is an adjective. Le sang is a noun. Et le front, couvert de sueur, of sweat. Sueur, le sueur. Je ne sais pas pourquoi on m'a frappé, pourquoi on m'a cassé la jambe. Et le bras. Those are the words. Je ne comprends ni pourquoi on a déchiré mes vêtements. Les vêtements is as a word. My vêtements, you don't worry about the pronoun there or the verbs. We're not doing the verbs, we're just looking for the words. Ni pourquoi on a lancé des pierres, les pierres, stones, tout en m'appelant espion. L'espion is a spy. That's a word. Et l'ennemi is a word. De l'état is another word. So if you make a list of those words there, you'll end up with a big list of nouns and also adjectives on the other side. J'étais tellement heureux d'avoir, heureux is an adjective. D'avoir l'occasion is a word. It's a noun, what you call a noun. De visiter ce beau pays, le pays, because it ends with an S, even though it's singular. Vous savez, aux États-Unis, that's a state, on voit dans les revues is a noun. L'élégance, les revues, l'élégance. Et la beauté is a word. De la France, again, la France pour moi c'était la mode. La bonne cuisine, la cuisine, and la bonne cuisine, bonne is a feminine adjective. Et le bon vin, the wine, which is good wine. So those are the words that you can pick out from reading. And the same for learning English. It would be the same thing because I've got someone who's been in Australia and, you can apply all these rules to English as well and improve the written part of the language if you already speak it. Pour moi, le meilleur vin, meilleur is an adjective. Vin, le vin, we've done that before, c'était le vin français. Notice le vin, the wine, French wine, français this time comes after vin. À la télévision, il y a un acteur distingué, un acteur, that's an actor, it's a noun. And we've got in front, you've got the article. And the articles, only a few. Once you learn where to put them, easy, easy. Il regarde l'étiquette. Okay? Il verse le vin dans un verre à vin. Un verre is a wine glass. Un verre à vin. À vin, in this case here, à vin, even though it's a little phrase, it should be regarded as an adjective. Délicatement, délicatement, okay? Il verse délicatement is an adverb. We won't touch that. But délicate is the adjective. La musique is a noun. Il lève le verre, the glass, lentement. That's the adverb, but we're not doing that now. Il admire la couleur, the color, is a noun. Les yeux fermés, les yeux is a plural of the eyes, noun. Fermé is the adjective. It comes from fermer, the verb, but again, il sent le vin. He tastes, or he odors, he look, what he uses his nose. I can't remember the word. Okay, il sent le vin, I think he smells the wine. And then he tastes it. Il en boit une petite gorgée. So he then drinks a little, une petite is small, adjective, gorgée, a little taste. Qu'il semble savourer un peu avant de l'avaler. Before he spits it out. La musique, we've done that before. L'acteur, again, these are 9 parts of speech, come handy, knowing those. Quelle joie, quel plaisir, what joy, joy in this case is a noun. Quel plaisir is a noun. Dans un petit verre, small glass, we've done that before. Moi, je voulais simplement apprendre l'histoire is a noun. De cette boisson, dans les Français disent, de cette boisson, of this saying that the French say, un repas sans vin est une journée sans soleil. So a meal, that's a noun, without wine, is a day without sun. Isn't that beautiful? So you picked, how many words did you pick up from that? A lot. Not only that, but then this particular story, if you had the book, you'd be able to read it over and over again. Monsieur le consul, je ne sais pas pourquoi on m'a amené devant le tribunal de Bordeaux. Vous me voyez le visage couvert de sang et le front couvert de sueur. Je ne sais pas pourquoi on m'a frappé, pourquoi on m'a cassé la jambe et le bras. Now, we're not doing the reading, we're just doing the extracting the words from the first part of L'ennemi de l'État. It's quite a lot. Well, now I deserve a song. I'll do a few of them, okay? La vie en rose, that's Edith Piaf. If you have the phone, one of these, okay, and I've got a couple of them. If you've got the phone like that, you can actually pick up the words by writing La vie en rose in Google or Chrome. Or the last one, I always forget the last one. My God, it's unbelievable. Anyway, it doesn't matter. In one of those platforms where you can get the lyrics. Okay? So, La vie en rose. Des yeux qui font baisser les miens, un rire qui se perd sur sa bouche. Voilà le portrait sans retouche de l'homme auquel j'appartiens. Quand il me prend dans ses bras, il me parle tout basse. Je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours. Et ça me fait quelque chose. Il est entré dans mon cœur une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. C'est lui pour moi, moi pour lui dans la vie. Il me l'a dit, là j'aurai pour la vie. Et dès que je l'aperçois, alors je sens en moi mon cœur qui bat. Des nuits d'amour à plus finir, un grand bonheur qui prend sa place, des ennuis, des chagrins s'effacent, heureux, heureux à en mourir. Quand il me prend dans ses bras, il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. Il est entré dans mon cœur, une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. C'est toi pour moi pour toi, pour dans la vie. Il me l'a dit, la journée pour la vie. Et dès que je l'aperçois, alors je sens dans moi mon cœur qui bat. Now I read that because when I first started, you forget the tune. Des yeux qui font... No, that one there doesn't come, but this one does. Non, rien de rien, non, je ne regrette rien, ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien, non, je ne regrette rien. C'est payé, balayé, oublié, je me fous du passé. Avec mes souvenirs, j'ai allumé le feu, mes chagrins, mes plaisirs. Je n'ai plus besoin de balayer les amours. Avec le trémolos, balayer pour toujours, je repars à zéro. Non, rien de rien, non, je ne regrette rien, ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien, non, je ne regrette rien, car ma vie, car mes joies, aujourd'hui, ça commence avec toi. Now, did I have a French person in front of me? No. Can you learn French on your own as well? Yes. And how do you do it? Again, if you get one of these, you go to YouTube and you write down rien de rien. And Edith Piaf comes on and she sings rien de rien. A lot better than me, of course, but you try it to do it the way she does it and see how good she really is. And, very hard to copy the original singers in their own, it's like cooking, you do a particular dish your way and you don't let people know. They can come close to it, but not quite like the original. So there you are. That's the song. Now, maybe, too, what we should do as well when you're learning a language is that you want to know the parts of the country. For example, facts about France. The official name for France is La République Française. It is the largest country in Europe, covering 551,500 square meters. It is hexagonal in shape and joins onto 6 other countries. There you are, a bit of culture there, knowledge about France. Division of France. France was divided into départements in 1790, long time ago. Each has a number and most are named after the main river running through them. Well, isn't that lovely? 1790, there were 1790 rivers. Not quite, but because some of the rivers cross many départements. There are 95 départements in mainland France. Each has a main town and a préfet chosen by the president. So the president has a direct link to the Lord Mayor or the prefect or whatever. Okay, and this is, of course, France. You can look it up. Again, that's it there. Notice you have to have it in your mind, okay? So you can see that Marseille is very far away from Paris, and therefore the French will have a lot of changes, even though they speak French, but they will have different accents, etc. And the same with, Savoy there, Poitou-Charentes, Bretagne, which is further north, close to England. Whereas Bayonne, Aquitaine, close to Portugal and France. Carcassonne. So when you do the literature of France, you get the writers write a lot about the names of these places. All right? So that's that. And now we're going to go to Parlons Français. We're going to speak French. Where am I put this? Over there. Now, that's l'ennemi de l'État. I won't do number 2, but I recommend that you too, select words when you read anywhere. It doesn't matter where from. Now, this is page 29. Okay, here we go. Parlons français. Last week I read Voici une carte de l'Europe. I showed you a map of Europe, and the questions were: est-ce que la France et l'Angleterre sont des pays d'Europe? Oui. Here we go. These are the questions, okay? Et les États-Unis, quelle est la capitale de la France et quelle est la capitale des États-Unis? Est-ce qu'on parle français à Londres et quelle langue parle-t-on à New York? Quelle langue parle-t-on en Allemagne? Quelle langue parle-t-on dans l'Amérique centrale? Êtes-vous français ou française? De quelle nationalité êtes-vous? De quelle ville êtes-vous? Où est une ville? Est-ce que c'est la capitale de votre pays? Est-ce que c'est une ville importante? Importante. Est-ce qu'on parle français dans votre pays? Êtes-vous européenne? So, even if you make a few mistakes, it doesn't matter, because you are asking questions here. Okay, and you've got to give the answer. Quelle est la capitale de la France? And you say, la capitale de la France est Paris. Et quelle est la capitale des États-Unis? La capitale des États-Unis est Washington. Et est-ce qu'on parle français à Londres? Non, on ne parle pas français à Londres, on parle anglais, etc. So you can create those sentences as you move along. But la pratica, practice, beats grammar. The more of this you do, the better and the more fluent you become. So when you're doing, for example, I'm doing 1 hour a week in a class. How much can they learn? Can we practice in there? By the time you've gone in, the hour is gone. So the student has to want to really do it in order to learn. So that's learning for people in the third age. Okay, so that's that. Let's go back to me. So now there was also something that I wanted to do. There was two things. Adjectives before nouns: autre, beau, belle, bonne, bonne, grand, gras, grosse, haut, jeune, joli, longue, longue, mauvais, petite. They come before. Adjectives after the nouns: bleu, vert, rouge, jaune, blanc, blanche, noir, gris, brun. Now these are all colors. So the colors come after. Le chapeau est vert, comes after. Le chapeau vert comes after the noun. Grande, okay? Adjectives after the noun. Malade, fatigué, pâle, faible, content, triste, riche, pauvre, prêt, dur, choix, froide. Also, excellent, agréable, amusant, mûr, occupé, assis, demi. frais, fraîche, inquiète, inquiète, heureux, heureuse, joyeux, joyeuse, neuf, neuve, toutes, toutes, tous, tout, toutes, toutes. So there you are. Those come after most of them come after the noun, except for those ones about the colour, the what, autre, bon, grand, this, you know, I think they relate, those ones that come before the noun, related to the person. Un autre, une bonne fille, un bon garçon, un grand homme, etc. And the other one that I wanted to, the adjectives of nationality, a lot of adjectives here, wow. But the nationality are Français, Anglais, Australien, Allemand, Espagnol, Italien, Suisse, Belge, Hollandais, Russe, Chinois, Écossais, Japonais, Canadienne, Indienne, Européenne, Asiatique, Africaine, American. So those are the adjectives of nationality. All right, so again, you know, if you look them up, make a list and go for it. That means that my French for today, it's almost 12 o'clock, but I won't leave you without one of our friends' songs. And he's from Belgium, of Italian background. Salvatore Adamo. We'll just do Tombe la neige for today. Tombe la neige, tu ne viendras pas ce soir. Tombe la neige, et mon cœur s'habille de noir. Ce soyeux cortège, tout en larmes blanches, l'oiseau sur la branche pleure le sortilège. Tu ne viendras pas ce soir, me crie mon désespoir. Mais tombe la neige, impassible manège. Tombe la neige, tu ne viendras pas ce soir. Tombe la neige, tout est blanc de désespoir. Triste certitude, le froid de l'absence, cet odieux silence, blanche solitude. Tu ne viendras pas ce soir, me crie mon désespoir. Mais tombe la neige, impassible manège. Mais tombe la neige, impassible manège. How's that? It's a lot of fun learning the songs of a language that, you know, that you don't use every day. For example, now we're going to Spanish, okay? So we'll start with the new song by Nicola Di Bari, okay? Cuando la gente duerme, voy a Bayo, suéteron los hombros en la noche azul, en el corazón una guitarra, en la mente cosas raras y en mi rostro un poco de ingenuidad. Vagabundo, vagabundo, algún santo me guiará. He vendido mis zapatos por una milla de libertad. Solo no se vive, sin amor no moriré. Vagabundo, estoy soñando, delirando. Las piernas van solas, la calle parece un río, quién sabe a dónde irá, ni siquiera tú, muchacha, sabes parar mi carrera, en tus ojos no hay sinceridad. Vagabundo, vagabundo, algún santo me guiará. He vendido mis zapatos por una milla de libertad. Solo no se vive, sin amor no moriré. Vagabundo, estoy soñando, delirando. Vagabundo, estoy soñando, delirando. Well, That's the first time I've done it in Spanish, and I actually understand most of the words already. But now it's our turn. What am I going to do now? Okay, 24. Oh, beautiful. Okay. I'll be with you in just 1 second. Okay, we're going to do the exercises now in Spanish. You are in a summer program in Spain. Email home telling what is or is not for learning Spanish. Use the clues in complete sentences. Wow. ¿Qué es importante? El idioma inglés es importante. Okay, let's have a look. Again, if you want to learn Spanish, it's easy once you get your box. Okay. ¿Qué es importante? El idioma inglés es importante. Okay? So, ¿qué es importante? El computadora es importante. ¿Qué es importante? La telenovela es importante. ¿Qué es importante? La lección de español es importante. ¿Qué es importante? El programa de música. I think programa is masculine. El programa de música es importante. ¿Qué es importante? La conversación es importante. ¿Quién habla español? La profesoresa habla español. So who speaks Spanish? La profesoresa habla español. You ask the question. ¿Quién habla español? El muchacho habla español. Roberto habla español. ¿Quién habla español? El estudiante habla español. Ana habla español. ¿Quién habla español? El amigo habla español. Luis habla español. ¿Quién habla español? La muchacha habla español. Gloria habla español. ¿Quién habla español? El señor habla español. El profesor habla español. Your Spanish teacher today points to pictures of things and people. You identify them in Spanish using es el or es la and the word in parentheses, okay? So, we got ¿qué or quién es? What or who is it? ¿Qué is what is it? ¿Qué es or quién es? Who is? So, ¿qué is what? ¿Quién is who? Okay? ¿Qué es? ¿Qué es? Es el libro. ¿Quién es? No, ¿quién es? It is the book. What or who is? ¿Qué es? Es el libro. ¿Qué es? Es el libro. ¿Quién es? Es el padre. ¿Quién es? Es la madre. ¿Qué es? Es el celular. ¿Qué es el periódico? ¿Qué es? ¿Quién es? Es el hombre. ¿Quién es? Es la mujer. ¿Qué es? Es el televisor. ¿Qué es? Es la mesa. ¿Qué es? Es la clase. So it's not bad. We managed pretty well, huh? What do you reckon? Now, you interview 5 people, then you'll tell us about each one. Señor Smith estudia usted el español. El señor Smith estudia el español. So that's a question first, and then you sort of the normal sentence. So, señor Moreno, mira usted el programa de televisión esta noche. And then your answer will be, el señor Moreno mira el programa de la televisión esta noche. Profesora Mendoza, ¿necesita usted el programa con la lección de historia? It's a question. You have to answer. La professoressa Mendoza necessita el programa con la lezione de historia. So you sort of, usted goes out, and that little question mark upside down goes out. Presidente Guzmán, entra usted en la ciudad capital de la nación mañana? So, Presidente Guzmán, il entra, no, Presidente Guzmán entra la ciudad capital de la nación mañana. Okay. Señorita Gómez, ¿estudia usted el idioma en la universidad? So, señorita Gómez estudia el idioma en la universidad. Señora Molina, ¿escucha usted al radio todo el día y toda la noche? Señora Molina, escucha el radio todo el día y toda la noche. So it's a question one or the other, I think. Señora Molina, escucha, you listen to el radio todo el día y toda la noche. So do you listen to the radio during the day or at night? So, Señora Molina, escucha el radio toda la noche, during the night. You introduce travel club members. Tell what language each speaks and reads. Tell what other languages each one now studies. El hombre es de España. El español habla español y lee el español. Ahora estudia el alemán. Okay, so the man is from Spain. He speaks Spanish and reads Spanish. He's now studying German. El profesor es de México. Habla español. Ahora estudia inglés. La estudiante es de Francia. Ella estudia, no, elle parle, no, I'm getting confused. Les étudiants es de Francia, les étudiants, la estudiante es de Francia, la estudiante es de Francia, habla el francés, ahora estudia el italiano. That's better. El muchacho es de Italia. El muchacho habla el italiano. Ahora él estudia el francés. Lui es de Inglaterra. Habla el inglés. Lui ahora estudia alemán. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Could have been worse. Okay. Well, that was quite a challenging exercise. I normally don't do the exercises, and you can see why. The last one was La muchacha es de Alemania. La muchacha habla alemán. Ahora ella estudia italiano. Okay, we're going to stop there. It's too much for one day, my God. Okay. So, teach us, yeah, page, good. Now, just one last bit, and then we'll be fine. 24, 26. Here we are. We're going to do this. I am English American. Soy inglese, soy americano, soy americana. Do you speak English? Habla inglés? I don't speak Spanish. No hablo español. I don't understand. No entiendo. Would you say that again, please? Repita eso, por favor. Repita eso, por favor. Please speak slowly. Habla despacio, por favor. Not bad. Not bad. Language problems. Look, you know, you need some resources, otherwise you can't really learn a language without the resources. And for example, you know, you want to ask questions. You go somewhere, you're going to go to Spain, and you say, hay habitaciones, se alquilan habitaciones. No vacancies. Hotel completo. Have you a room for the night? Tienen habitación para esta noche. Tienen habitación para esta noche. Do you know another good hotel? ¿Puede recomendarme otro hotel bueno? I've reserved a room. My name is. Tengo habitación reservada. Mi nombre es Catarina. I want a single room with a shower. Quiero habitación individual con ducha. We want a room with a double bed and a bathroom. Queremos habitación con cama de matrimonio y baño. Have you a room with twin beds? Tienen habitación de dos camas, etc. So, you know, it's a slow process learning a language, and then you don't have, your brain can cope with many languages. For example, now I'm going to read a bit of the Espanol, a bit of the Portuguese, because the Portuguese, believe it or not, is very much, but very different from Spanish. And I'm going to show it to you. I'll just do a little bit because I think the lesson is over. I'll just show you the writing. Now this is Portuguese. O Mediterraneo è sob o punto de vista geográfico espacio fechado, exceptuando a Libia e a Egipto, com as suas costas, a estenderem-se desertos para o interior sul. O restante litoral mediterráneo è generalmente constituido por pequeñas planicies costeras a que se seguen colinas y montañas, nas regiones intermedias y grandes cordilleras mais para o interior, Atlas, Pirineus, Alpes, Apeninos, Balcas y montañas de Anatolia. Look at this. O Mediterraneo, the Mediterranean, is sub o ponte de vista geográfico, under the guise of a geographical view, espacio fechado. Don't understand fechado, so it's a space, exceptuando a Libia e o Egipto. Except for Libya and Egypt, com as suas costas a estenderem se o desertos para o interior sul, o restante litoral mediterráneo. So it's on the side of the Mediterranean and generalmente constituito por pequeñas planicies, a few plains along the coastline, a que seguen colinas, because if you know Italian and Spanish, colina is a hill, montañas is mountain, nas regiones intermedias. So if you get a Portuguese person that can explain, that can check your pronunciation, you can actually read in Portuguese. and I'm going to do it with my good friend, okay, who lived in Brazil. So the Brazilians all speak Portuguese, but I suspect it's a little bit different from the Portuguese in Portugal. Okay, on that note, I'm happy to say that I've done it for another day. I've enjoyed it, actually. Something, it's a journey at the end of the day. And thank you very much for keeping me company, Maria. And other people do come on to listen to these to these podcasts, these lessons, presentations. From last week, I've already got 50 or 60. It keeps on going to 70, 80, etc. Okay? So whether you are on when I'm on or you're on when I'm not there, but I'm there, visually in this podcast, I like to thank you. And what can I say? Till next week, adios from Tom Padula on TomPadulaTV on YouTube, and of course Insegna Booksellers. Look me up in insegna.com. Okay? On that note, I finish. Bye.